everybody, welcome to the 𝐷 Way. I'm Jessica. Today's video is going to be our homeschool year in review. So I'm going to be talking about all of the plans and the things that I had hoped that we would get done for Emily's 8th grade homeschool year, and then what we in fact did actually accomplish in our 2025-2026 homeschool year. The first thing that I want to talk about is the books that I had planned for us to read for our professional development, personal growth kind of thing. So this is the stack that I had originally picked for us. With these books, the goal was that there was basically one teen book and also an adult version for each of them. So we were going to read the teen book together and I was going to read the adult book simultaneously. It kind of happened for a little bit. So we managed to get through 3 of the, I think, 12. The 3 that we got through were Your New Playlist by Jon Acuff and How Teens Win by Jon Acuff. Both of these, the teen and the adult versions, get 5 stars from Emily and I. We really, really like them. The How Teens Win, and all it takes as a goal is the adults version is all about goal setting. It was a really, really good. And then Your New Playlist, the adults version is soundtracks, and it was all about taking negative mindsets and kind of flipping them on themselves and creating new positive mindset, and in this case, new positive soundtracks for your brain. Both of them were really, really good. And then the last one that we got through was Eat That Frog, student edition, and then obviously I read the adult edition. The adult edition got like 3.5, 4 stars for me. Not because it's a bad book, but just because I feel like it's stuff that I already know, even though I might not be actually doing it. Emily rated this one like 2.5, 3 stars. Not because the information in the book was bad, but because like literally frogs are her least favorite animal. And so I think she probably would have rated it 4 to 5 stars if it had been how to eat that elephant or that horse or anything else other than a frog. And she even didn't like the frog on the cover. Like I would have to fold the book like this when I read it. But it references Eat That Frog multiple times, like literally almost every passage that you read. So that just wasn't her favorite. But again, the concepts in it were really good. It's all about procrastination. So it was a really, really great read. After we finished that one, my plan was for us to go back to the stack and pick another book. However, I had finished the adult version of How to Eat That Frog a lot faster than we finished the teen version. So I was reading or listening to, at that point, the Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. And Emily was in the car with me one day while it was playing, and she took her headphones off and kind of got into it. So then she asked, could we read this together instead of one of our teen books? Which I was like, yeah, sure, that sounds great to me. We are both people pleasers by nature, and so it was a good book. And so we ended up reading the Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins together. I started back over and we started reading this. It was fantastic. We both gave it 5 stars. And then after that, we kind of fell down a Mel Robbins rabbit hole because we really, really enjoyed them. So next we read the High Five Habit, and then we read the 5-Second Rules together. So I just read these aloud and we talked about them. Now, obviously there's a lot of things in these books that's geared more towards adults. So I would just come up with like scenarios that related to her. But to be honest, we had the same kind of like issue when we read the teen books as well, because a lot of these things were like related to school and a school setting. And so I would like have to come up with a scenario where it would make the most sense to her and her life and like the homeschool setting. So I didn't really find that to be an issue. I didn't find anything like inappropriate. It would just be like work discussions or, marriage discussions that I would have to relate to, maybe a goal that she had or like friendship relationship or something. But again, not difficult. And we love these. Like I'll be like, let them as a reminder, or a lot of times if we're procrastinating and don't want to do something, if you haven't read the High Five, it's literally like you count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off, and you just get up and do whatever it is that you're putting off. And we do it all the time. So while we did not do what I had planned, or we only did like, I don't know, 1/4 of what I had planned, I'm not upset about it at all, because what we ended up doing was phenomenal and it was kind of what we both needed. So we will probably just roll these books into next year. Like that's probably my plan, is we'll just move them on into high school. No big deal. Okay, now let's talk about our like morning basket. That's more like an afternoon basket. The things that we did on a daily basis that we enjoyed, that we actually got through, were a year of positive thinking for teens. Now, on these daily things, did we do every single day? No, because we only school 4 days a week. And so we obviously skipped like 3 to 4 each week since we weren't schooling those days. I didn't go back and catch up. I just read whatever day we were on. That means we may even do them again next year because there's still more that we could do. But that means we got through probably at least 2/3 to 3/4 of this, and we really, really enjoyed it. Definitely recommend it. This day in history for kids. This one was good. We did have a lot of great like conversations and like rabbit trails and stuff that came off of it. Not my absolute favorite, but it was good. 5 facts a day science. Absolutely love this one. This one was probably our favorite. In fact, there were days when I would open it to a spread and Emily would be like, I don't want to skip that one. And so we would do like 2 days sometimes in this one. What we both really liked about it was while they were random facts, the random facts were all around a specific topic. So like each day had one kind of theme, and then your 5 facts that day would be about that theme. So it was perfect for like our brains and how we work. And again, there were so many things that we, had like side conversations and dives down because of that. And then Emily's personal favorite was an animal a day. Now, obviously, Emily knows a lot of animals, but there were still some animals, or at least some animal facts in here that kind of either astonished me, and we would go into this huge conversation about it, which reminded me how much she actually knows, or she would astonish her, and we would then have to research and go even further. So again, these were fantastic, and I love that they started amazing conversations. Also, during like our basket time, we did the 52 modern manners for teens. Really, really enjoyed this. We got through this whole volume 1. There's a volume 2. I have it. I wasn't sure if we would get through both of them this year. We did not. We only got through one of them. We did 1 to 2 a week. So we like had this in a loop, and we did 1 kind of a week, and then like sometimes we would do 2 depending on what it was. Not because we were catching up, but just because sometimes Emily would be like, oh, let's do another one. And so we would do another one. In that loop, we also did our SAT vocabulary. I just threw a highlighter in the basket, and basically once a week I would kind of like verbally read these aloud, and then she would answer and I would highlight the answer. We managed to get through 40 lessons in this. There are 145, so we didn't make a huge dent in it. But I knew we probably wouldn't. Like, my goal wasn't to finish this year. It was just to kind of expose her and keep exposing her to the SAT vocabulary, so it wasn't like a foreign thing when SAT time came. I really do enjoy this, though. I think you could obviously do 1 a day and get through it in the school year. That, again, wasn't my goal. I just wanted, like, exposure. And I think this is really good for that. Like, if you're looking for SAT vocabulary, but also not just vocabulary memorization, but asked in the way it's going to be asked on the SAT, I think this is a great workbook for that. The other thing that we had intended to do in our loop, so we were going to get to it once a week, was the art of argument. We started this, so my plan was to do it verbally, which is why we were going to do it in our morning basket. I was basically just going to keep the teacher's guide, read aloud, she would answer it, and I would just reference, the answer key that's in here. We started it, and then I realized that I could easily just wait until next year and call this high school, and that we hadn't actually finished the fallacy detective that was in our basket from the previous year. And that's when some of the original, fallacies started coming up. Emily was like, we never finished this. And so we ended up going back and finishing this year instead. That's not because I didn't like the art of argument. It's just because I realized we could finish this, because this was definitely something that we were outgrowing at the 8th grade level, and this was something we could continue, or it could continue to grow with us, and this was the next level of the fallacy detective. So we finished that this year, and we're just kind of holding this for next year. Okay, the main 2 things that we do for curriculum are Fix-It Grammar and Denison Math. I just want to go ahead and tell you that we did not finish either of these. Absolutely didn't do it. In fact, I'm not sure we finished anything this year in its entirety. We did not. And I'm okay with that. Like, I'm absolutely okay with that. I just, like, I want you to know that. That's never my goal, and it didn't happen this year. Fix It grammar we like. This is our second, maybe third year. Second or third year using it. I don't know if we're continuing with it. She's going back and forth between wanting to do this next year or wanting to do the last level of editor-in-chief, because that's the other, like, editing, grammar, punctuation, spelling program that she really likes. And there's one more, like, high school level. So we're going back and forth. So I'm not sure. But if we don't do this, it's not because we didn't love it, because we really, really did love it. However, we're only about halfway through this one. I've already gone through and crossed out, like, the review pages and the ones I know she doesn't need to do. And we're just going to kind of keep chugging along. Like, they'll probably just roll over into the summer. Like, it's not really that big of a deal. But we do really, really like this. This is a winner in my book. In addition to that, for language arts, she read a lot, but she also wrote a lot this year. We are in the process of doing a final edit on her, I'm going to call it a novella that she wrote. It's a 112-page Google Doc. It is a story set in, like, medieval Japan, where there's like, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it, but it's an absolutely amazing story. So we're in the final edits of that. And so that was a big part of her language arts this year. She did that for fun. And because that's what she was doing in her free time, I scaled back on a lot of the things I would have done with her to make sure that she had the free time to write that, because I wanted to give that to her. So she spent her time writing that. Then we've done one edit and we're doing the final edit now. Once we finish the final edit, she'll design the cover and we will have it printed. Okay, algebra. We are, I'm going to say 3/4. She's on chapter 14 of 17. So 2/3, 3/4, somewhere around there of the way through. I'm okay with that because Algebra 1 was never, like, my intention for her to finish it in 8th grade. This is a high school credit. It's going to be a high school credit. If she finishes it, great. But I never planned for us to be done with this at the end of 8th grade. Like, I started her in pre-algebra in 7th grade, assuming that that was going to take us 1.5 to 2 years. It didn't. We started algebra, and I just kind of knew when starting it, math is not always her favorite. It's not always her strong suit. And I figured we would just keep chugging along and, like we'll just keep doing the next one whenever it rolls out. So, like, we will finish this before we move on, for sure, because I want her to, have all of this in her, like, brain. And whenever that happens is when that happens. So we might do some of this over the summer. We probably will do some of this over the summer. I just won't have her do as many days worth of it. And whenever she's done with this, we'll just start the next level, which will be geometry. Like, if that's when 9th grade starts, great. If it's 3 months into 9th grade, that's fine with me too. The two, like, unit study, novel studies, kind of all-in-one studies that we did this year were Egyptian heroes and myths and Norse heroes and myths. We got almost all the way through Egyptian heroes and myths for the most part. I would say we did like 90% of it, only because I don't ever even do 100% of the studies that I design. And then Norse heroes and myths, we got probably 75% of the way through. We did not finish the last book. So there's like the whole section that's for the last book. We have not gotten there yet. And I haven't sat down and talked to her to figure out if she wants to continue that and finish this in the last book over the summer, or if she wants to just kind of move on. Either way, I'm good with it. She learned a ton about Egyptian history and mythology and Vikings and Norse mythology and history. And if this is where we end, this is where we end. Like I said, we read the books, we did the novel studies, the grammar, the history, all of it. So if that's all that we do, I'm okay with it. And then another thing that we had was our movie study. So I had planned to do Lights, Camera, Action. There's 40 movies in here. I was hoping to do one a week. I think we maybe got to 8. My plan was to do them on like Saturday nights as a family. Life just is too busy on the weekends. We're going to have to come up with something else. Maybe like Thursday night movies or something like theater Thursdays because it does not work on the weekends. I don't know what I was thinking when that's what I planned. Like in my head, I was like, oh, Friday or Saturday night. And that's fine until like the holiday seasons when everybody's planning things for the weekends. And then during archery season, when we literally have like a tournament Friday, Saturday, and Sunday almost every weekend to every other weekend during the like fall and spring. So we got to, I think, eight or 10 in the lights, camera, action, like the original. And then we did 5 or 6 in the holiday version. So I think we ended up doing like, I don't know, like 12 to 14 total movie nights and film studies, which is still something because it's better than 0. My goals greatly shifted. Like I already knew that academics were not going to be the main focus this year because this is like our transition year into high school. And I wanted her to be in a place like emotionally and mentally, like where it was all about kind of mindset and personal growth. And like that was my focus. And it definitely became my focus when I realized that this was kind of the year that we were dealing with like perimenopause meets puberty. And that is a very interesting combination for her and I and our dynamic on a personal level and on a homeschool level. It was interesting. I do feel like connection wise, we made serious strides in that, like on a whole another level. I feel like her confidence in general and everything has gotten a lot better. She can advocate for herself now. She's gotten better, like about using the tools that are in her toolbox for coping with situations, for her, anxiety, negative thoughts, mindset, all of that. So I really do feel like while we didn't get a ton of like curriculum done and I don't have a ton of like physical things in our portfolio this year, I'm really actually okay with it. Like I already looked at her portfolio and I'm like, wow, there's really not a lot like of a huge stack in here for me to go through, but I'm totally okay because I actually have seen more growth this last school year in her than I think I ever have. Maybe not necessarily academically, but like in her as a person. And I'm super thrilled about that because that was my goal going into this school year anyway. For extracurriculars, she did do a couple of sewing lessons and things with my mom, not as many as we had originally planned. Again, scheduling. She did quite a bit of leather work with my dad. They're still working on her final like project, which is going to be a guitar strap. So that was something that went really well. And I've watched her like overcome her perfectionism in that. She stuck with guitar the entire year and went from being super anxious and not even wanting to like do it to performing beautifully and not 1 but 2 recitals on stage in front of a lot of people. So I was thrilled to see her do that. And then archery, this year she moved up to the women's stake. So while she's still in a youth category, she's shooting from the same distance that like I shoot at. So that was another like very large, big step up for her. And she overcome it. She persevered. She built her confidence and she still kicked butt. You guys, I don't think we competed in anything this year that she didn't take home first. And I'm not saying that as like a braggy thing, but I don't think, like I'm thinking back, I think she took home first in everything we've competed in this year, including one that was an out-of-state tournament and there was over 1,000 archers present. Like we honestly were like, don't be upset if you don't place at all. She was maybe hoping for 3rd and then she still pulled off a 1st. So really proud of her. Now, I would love it if you would tell me down in the comments, how did your homeschool year go? Did it go as you planned? Did it take an unexpected negative turn or did it take an unexpected positive turn? And are you already planning for next homeschool year?